Howdy folks, and welcome to Hearthstone Basic Trading. In this episode, I'll be covering the concept of card advantage. And now, anyone familiar with trading card games or collectible card games, this concept may be familiar to you, but I wanted to cover the basics in case you're new to Hearthstone and these type of games. Now, card advantage is a way for you to play your cards efficiently and get an advantage over your opponent. Do you ever find that you're playing a game and you're playing a match and you look down and you don't have a lot of creatures on the board and you don't have a lot of cards in your hand and your opponent's got tons of creatures and tons of cards in its hand? Well, it's probably because your opponent has been playing more effectively and gaining card advantage over you. So here's some tips and tricks and figuring out how to take advantage of your own deck and how to choose cards more wisely and play more efficiently. Now, one way to think about card advantage is if you play a card, you're actually expending a resource. And if you don't get anything in return, meaning you're not gaining a card on your side or taking out one of the opponents, then you're actually going to be getting a card disadvantage. So, for example, you can look at a lot of the low-cost cards here. Let's say I play a Wisp, all right? This is largely seen as a bad card. If I play a Wisp, even though it's 0 mana, and I put that on the board, I've used a card, so I'm down 1 resource. And the likelihood that this is going to take out a resource on the opponent's side is pretty slim. Now, every once in a while, they might play something like an Angry Chicken or even an Abusive Sergeant, and your Wisp may kill one of those cards. But chances are, more likely that this Wisp is going to come on the board and just get killed by something and not actually take out an opponent's card. So cards like this will give you a card disadvantage. Now, let's look at another example here. Let's say I play a Timberwolf on my turn. Okay, it's a 1/1 creature for 1 mana, and the opponent responds. It's also a hunter. They respond and actually use Arcane Shot to destroy my Timberwolf. Now, this is an acceptable trade, all right, on both sides pretty much. It is a 1-for-1. It's not giving anybody particular advantage, but 1-for-1 trades happen very frequently. The trick is to try to get 2-for-1 deals or more. 3-for-1 deals would be even better as often as possible during the game, and those slight advantages will add up over time. I use this example here because the cards actually cost the same amount of mana, because an argument can be made that if I play let's say a 5 casting cost creature, and you use a 3 casting cost removal spell to get rid of it, well, then you've gotten a slight advantage. Not really not a full card's worth of advantage, but a mana cost advantage. So sometimes, that's why the priest removal is really good, because a lot of times you can spend, 3 mana for a Shadow Word Death and take out something like a Ragnaros or a different legendary that costs 8 or 9 mana, and you get a huge kind of mana advantage out of it. So that's another way of looking at it, but, in general, you're going to look at it card versus card. So let's take a look at another neutral card here. It's pretty common to see out in play. The Loot Hoarder. So I'm going to play this for 2 mana, and it's going to come out on the board as a 2/1 creature. Now, when it dies, it's going to give me another card back. So it replaces itself. So it actually doesn't cost that resource to play. Now, there are situations if the opponent actually silences this card and I don't get another card when he dies, well, then I expend the resource for playing it. And if he actually doesn't kill a creature on the board, well, that's a card disadvantage for me. Now, Loot Hoarder is actually particularly good because he can come down early in the game and he can take out something like a Frostwolf Grunt, right? If I smash my Loot Hoarder into my enemy's Frostwolf Grunt, they lose a card, and my card actually replaces itself. So I actually got a 2-for-1 deal there. So, those kind of situations make the Loot Hoarder a valuable card. So, it more likely sets up opportunities to get card advantage. Now, let's see, another card that I actually talk about quite a bit in my basic card guides that I have put up on my channel, the Chillwind Yeti. And the reason why this card is so good is it's got a 5 health pool. And if you look at the other cards that cost 4 mana, you can see the Ancient Brewmaster can actually kill the Yeti, but really none of the other cards can do so in the 4 mana slot. They don't have the ability by themselves to do 5 damage. Now, there's actually a legendary that can do this as well at 4 mana, and that's Leroy Jenkins. But the concept here is that there's not a lot of creatures that are neutral that can take out the Yeti by themselves. Now, there are situations where you can cast like a Starfall or an Arcanite Reaper or a Fireball. There are ways to take out a Yeti just with 1 card, but many of those actually cost more than 4 mana, giving you that slight advantage there. So Yetis are a card that actually can set up some card advantage for you. So when you're looking through your cards and you're looking through your plays, you want to make trades that are as efficient as possible for you. I'm going to show you some in-game examples here in a minute, but as you're just looking through your collection, that's why you see people that actually favor cards that actually draw more cards. So the Novice Engineer was quite popular for a while. He's a little bit weakened now that he only has a 1 toughness, but still, it automatically replaces it and gives you something on the board. Let's look at a couple other cards and evaluate them in terms of card advantage. Blessing of Kings. For new players, this looks like such a powerful card, right? I'm going to put 4+4+4 on one of my creatures, and man, he can be like 10-10, or he could be 12-12 and just slaughter things. Well, yeah, it's a powerful card, but it's also a very risky card. By putting this on one of your creatures, you're basically baiting a 2-for-1 deal to the opponent, right? If they can take out this card now with 1 removal spell, then you actually lose the Blessing of Kings plus the creature, giving the opponent a card advantage. Now, if they don't have an answer to this card, certainly you're going to smack them in the face with a really large creature, but it is kind of a high-risk, high-reward type card to play. Similarly, if we look at Blessing of Wisdom. Now, here's a card that you're casting on one of your creatures, so you can potentially set up that 2-for-1 for your opponent, but this one allows you to draw cards when you attack, giving you some card advantage back. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to play this, or a better way to play this, I should say. If I'm playing this on a turn when I just summoned a creature and he can't attack right away, well, you know what? Chances are I might not get my card back. If they use that 1 removal spell, then I just lost the 2 cards. However, if I wait and I play this on a turn where I'm about to attack, I can guarantee that this card is going to replace itself, making it a much less risky play. Similarly, the Cult Master actually works quite like this as well. If I put this down as a 4-2, then yeah, it might actually just die before it does anything. But if I play it on a turn where I know I'm going to be killing off one of my other creatures, well then I'm going to get a card right away, and maybe the Cult Master is going to bait out a removal spell or kill another creature there, giving me card advantage. Weapons are another way to get card advantage in Hearthstone. I'm asked all the time how to actually effectively use weapons. Well, most of the time you want to kill creatures with it. So I put out a Fiery War Axe on turn 2, and I take out one of his creatures because it does 3 damage. And guess what? On turn 3, he puts out another creature, and I take that one out too. Now this Fiery War Axe killed 2 cards over the course of 2 turns, so I got card advantage. A good rule of thumb with the weapons is you want to, most of the time, use it to kill creatures and keep your own creatures alive in doing so. The only time that you really want to hit these weapons to the opponent's face is when you have an abundance of weapons in your hand and you know that you're going to keep casting them, or if the opponent's health is dangerously low. Let's take a look at a few examples of card advantage in an actual game. So in this turn, I'm going to play a weapon, the True Silver Champion, and I'm going to use it to take out this Spellbreaker. So that instantly gives me 1 kill, takes away 1 opponent resource, and my resource is only half used. In the very next turn, I'm going to do 2 versions of card advantage. I'm going to do a Consecrate, which is going to kill 2 creatures here and damage the opponent and the 3rd creature. And I'm going to also use the second charge of my True Silver Champion to take out a 2nd card. So both the Consecrate and the True Silver Champion gave me 2-for-1 card advantage. Sorry for singing. Let's take a look at another example. A turn 1 Worgen Infiltrator is a good card because it can stay stealth and usually take out the first creature the opponent plays, at least giving you a 1-for-1 trade. In this example, he plays a Bluegill Warrior and actually hits me for 2. But on my turn, I actually use the Argent Protector here to give my Worgen Divine Shield. Thus, I don't actually lose my creature when I pound it into the Murloc. So he loses the card and my card's still on the board. On the next turn, the opponent plays an Abusive Sergeant, leaving me to kill yet another creature with my Worgen Infiltrator and give me the 2-for-1 card advantage. My final example involves a meddlesome card called the Acolyte of Pain. He's got 3 health and only 1 attack, but every time he takes damage, you gain a card. So the more times he takes damage, the more cards you get, and the more card advantage. So I'm going to use an Inner Rage on my own creature to damage him and gain a card. Now, typically, when you're playing against this, you want to make sure that the opponent only draws 1 card maximum out of this card, but so you want to kill it in 1 shot. So here I've taken that control out of my opponent's hand. I've already gained a card. Now, the Inner Rage also increased the attack power of this normally fairly harmless minion to a 3. And you can see here the opponent is actually going to hit a Cone of Cold, which kills the Cruel Taskmaster next to it, but it also gives me another card, and yet he then pings me with a Fire Blast, so I actually got to draw 3 cards for the 1 Acolyte of Pain, and needless to say, that was a pretty good transaction for me. In fact, it worked out so well that on this very next turn, I'm going to do the exact same thing with the Acolyte of Pain and the Inner Rage. So there's a little card combo to look out for. Warriors and mages in particular work really well with the Acolyte of Pain because you can damage it yourself with some cards. So before I go, I just wanted to say that this does not mean that you can't ever go for card disadvantage plays. If they play a huge creature like a Ragnaros, well, sometimes it's going to take you 2 cards to kill it, and sometimes your only choice is to give your opponent card advantage. But the key here is to minimize the times that you're giving the opponent card advantage and maximize the times that you play your cards efficiently and get card advantage over your opponent. And those will add up over the course of the game and help settle out who is the victor and who is defeated. Well, that's going to wrap up the very first episode of Hearthstone Basic Training. I hope this guide was helpful to you. If it was, please share it with your friends and hit that like button before you go. And don't forget, I have a series of Hearthstone Basic Beginner decks for all 9 classes out there that'll help you construct decks using only the basic cards that you unlock for getting to level 10 with a class. So please check that out as well. And subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when I go live with future videos. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.